Hi, I'm Meg from Tokyo. In this video, I will share with you the top 10 new things to know about money.
There are some key updates you should know before planning your trip to Japan. I think most of you already know that Japan is not a cashless society and there's no tipping culture. In this video, I'd like to introduce some other key tips to help you make the most of your trip. We will start with the tax exemption system, which allows tax-free shopping but is undergoing changes, so it's important to know the new rules. We'll also touch on Japan's varying sales tax rates with some essentials tax at a lower rate, helpful for budgeting. Next, we will guide you through Japan's newly issued 500 yen coins and bills and the customs around offering 500 yen coins at shrines. I'll also share tips on enjoying high-end dining at lower prices and provide updates on scams in restaurants and taxis. Lastly, I will show you the best places to withdraw cash easily and safely. Stick around as we explore these tips to help you have a smooth and enjoyable experience in Japan.
Okay then, let's go!
Number 1. Tax Exemption System.
Have you ever used tax exemption systems when traveling abroad?
The Japanese government is planning to make big changes to the tax-free shopping system for visitors. The reason for this is the increasing number of cases in which visitors resell goods purchased tax-free in Japan. Under the current tax exemption system, visitors to Japan only need to present their passports and other documents when making purchases at tax exemption stores. This system is uncommon globally, but it doesn't properly ensure that visitors are taking their purchases out of the country. As a result, many visitors leave Japan without going through customs, leading to an increase in the amount of unpaid taxes. According to the data from fiscal year 2022, of the 57 visitors to Japan who made purchases of 100 million yen or more using the tax exemption system, only one actually took the purchased goods out of the country. The remaining 56 visitors left Japan without paying the consumption tax they should have, bringing the total amount of unpaid taxes to approximately 1.85 billion yen. To solve this problem, the government is planning a new system where purchases made by visitors will be checked when they leave Japan, and the consumption tax will be refunded afterward. Under the proposed system, visitors to Japan will be required to pay the price including consumption tax when making purchases at duty-free shops. After customs confirm that the items have been taken out of the country, the amount equivalent to the consumption tax will be refunded via credit card or electronic money.
It remains to be seen how this new system will affect the visitors to Japan and the Japanese economy.
Number 2. Sales tax rates vary by item. Consumption tax is a tax on the purchase of goods and services and was first introduced in Japan in April 1989. At the time, the tax rate was 3% and its purpose was to secure finance resources for healthcare and welfare in Japan's aging population. The consumption tax was increased to 5% in 1997, 8% in 2014, and 10% in October 2019. However, not all consumption is subject to the 10% rate. The 8% rate remains unchanged for some items. This is called a reduced tax rate and was established to reduce burden on lower income groups. The tax rate on everyday items has been kept low to lessen the impact of the tax increase. For example, beverages, groceries, takeout items excluding alcoholic beverages and restaurant food, and newspaper subscriptions are kept at the 8% tax rate. Please be sure that the tax rate applied to takeout in-store consumption may vary from store to store. For example, Starbucks charges different tax rates for food and drinks depending on whether you eat in or take out. On the other hand, McDonald's applies to the same tax rate to both. Number 3. Notes on new banknotes and coins. In 2021, new 500 yen coins were issued and there have been recent moves to introduce new bills. Of course, old banknotes and coins are still in circulation and available for use. While the differences between the bills are relatively easy to recognize, distinguishing the coins may be a bit more challenging. The most interesting difference is that when viewed from above, the word Japan appears, and when viewed from below, the word 500 yen appears. There's one important thing to watch out for when using the new money. While this isn't an issue when paying in person at most restaurants, many ticket machines and vending machines at ramen shops still don't accept the new coins or bills. For example, this may not work if you try to pay and the money is returned to you.
In such cases, do not try to force payment, but instead try paying with another type of money. If you're in a restaurant, ask your nearby staff member for help.
Number 4. Shrine and money. Have you ever visited Japan and seen Meiji Shrine, Fushimi Inari Shrine, Sensoji Temple, and Kiyomizudera Temple? In Japan, there is a custom of visiting shrines. A key part of visiting temples and shrines is offering money called osaisen. Osaisen is money that is offered to express daily gratitude and wishes to the gods and Buddha when visiting shrines and temples. You may think that any amount of money is acceptable as long as it expresses gratitude, but in fact, many Japanese people do not think so. The standard practice is to offer a single 5 yen coin as a monetary offering with a wish for good fortune. The 5 yen coin is often used because it has a hole in it, which symbolizes seeing ahead. On the other hand, the 10 yen coin is pronounced similarly in Japanese to the word for distant relationship, which is associated with the meaning of keeping relationships away. Therefore, it is considered best to avoid using this coin at shrines and temples. When visiting shrines and temples, be sure to have 5 yen coins ready. Number 5. Unacceptable credit cards. One of the most popular payment methods in Japan is credit cards. Most chain stores and department stores accept credit cards from well-known brands such as Visa, MasterCard, Amex, and Diners. However, it is my impression that there are a surprisingly large number of places where Visa and MasterCard are accepted, but Amex and Diners are not. Furthermore, many private stores still only accept cash, so it is essential to have cash ready.
In any case, when using credit cards in Japan, it is a good idea to have either Visa or MasterCard.
Number 6. Extra coins. When shopping or eating in Japan, you may tend to use bills and end up with a surplus of coins. While it can be nice to bring them back home as souvenirs, it's better to use them up in Japan rather than waste time. The best place to do this is at the convenience store where you can use coins to buy inexpensive snacks, tea, and other items. If you have extra coins, try using them at a convenience store. In addition, there is a unique Japanese culture called gachapon. You can use gachapon machines starting with just 2 coins to get a variety of miniature goods and other items. There are also many unique Japanese goods such as products made in collaboration with anime.
If you cannot find what you want from a convenience store, you can try to buy something from gachapon as well.
Number 7. Lunch is less expensive than dinner. In Japan, there are a surprisingly large number of restaurants that offer relatively inexpensive lunchtime dining even though they are high-priced in the evening. All over Japan, many restaurants offer low-priced lunches, so others often have to follow this trend. For example, the restaurant Yoshida in Shinjuku costs about 30,000 Japanese yen per person at dinner time. However, the lunch-only menu offers premium brand Wagyu beef for only 1,600 yen. Furthermore, the restaurant is very popular on SNS because it offers a panoramic view of Tokyo during the day from its 53rd floor, 200 meters above ground. It is so popular that people start lining up in the morning. This was an extreme example, but many restaurants offer lunch at a lower price than dinner. If budget is a concern, local advice is to visit during lunch hours rather than dinner.
However, keep in mind that lunch menus have fewer items than dinner menus because they may focus more on promoting the restaurant.
Number 8. Scams in restaurants. In urban areas like Tokyo and Osaka, there are many foreign tourists everywhere you go. Unfortunately, new scams are also happening in restaurants. In the past, many rip-off izakaya restaurants charged extra fees for things like seating, late-night services, ice cubes, and more at checkout. Now, these scams have slightly charged and are on the rise again, targeting foreign tourists. One common scam involves food and beverage charges using Japan's unique otoshi charge system. Usually, otoshi are about 500 yen at most, but this method adds an exorbitant service charge and an appetizer fee to the bill.
Although I haven't personally experienced being scammed as a native Japanese speaker, I have come across discussions about these scams online.
As a precaution, it is recommended that you confirm the amount of the appetizer or charge with the waiter before ordering at the restaurant. Number 9. Cab scams. Japanese cabs don't mess with the matter like some dishonest cabs in other countries do. However, there are cases where taxis will intentionally take a detour and charge 1.2 to 1.5 times the regular fare. In large cities such as Tokyo and Osaka, traffic restrictions and no-go zones sometimes force drivers to choose a detour route.
It can be difficult to determine if it's a scam, but I have personally felt that I was taken a long way around in the past.
While I have the impression that most cabs do not take detours on purpose, it's important to know that such cases do occur. Besides, trains and buses are very convenient in tourist areas such as Tokyo, Osaka, and Kyoto. Unless you miss the last train in the middle of the night or have a large family, you may not need to take a cab very often.
I've already covered about scams in my previous video. If you're not yet, please check it out.
Number 10. Where to withdraw cash. Although more restaurants in Japan now accept credit cards, many places still only take cash. So, it's important to have some Japanese yen with you.
But where should you exchange your money for cash?
There are two main ways to exchange money at the airport, at an ATM or at the bank counter. There might be some differences in rates and fees, but they won't significantly different from each other. If you choose to use an ATM, you have many options, but 7-Bank is especially convenient. You can withdraw Japanese yen using your credit card or debit card. 7-Bank ATMs are located in most 7-Eleven convenience stores, so you can easily convert your money into yen not only at the airport but also at tourist spots. Bank teller windows, however, are generally opened from 9 to 3 on weekdays with limited business hours. ATMs have the advantage of being available from early morning to late at night. On the other hand, using a bank counter has the advantage that you do not need to operate a machine and you can have your money exchanged immediately by simply filling out a form. Major banks such as MUFG, SMBC, and Mizuho Bank are recommended for their relatively good rates and reliability. Here is a piece of advice. Credit cards and debit cards generally offer better rates, so if possible, it is recommended to use them. If you carry a lot of cash, there's a risk of pickpockets.
It's safer to carry just the minimum you need and withdraw more from ATMs at 7-Eleven convenience stores when necessary. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like button. I'm offering private tours as well. If you're interested, please contact me through the link below. See you at the next video.